Welcome to the CoinSec podcast. This week, we didn't have much of an agenda, but we chatted a lot about some of the potential innovations attackers could make in terms of malware and had some other really, really bad ideas. All that and more on episode number 18 of the CoinSec podcast.
You want to secure your assets.
We can crack the wallet.
Oh, we've done it before.
We've got rigs. Character adversary attribution mode.
With our private keys combined.
Building some kind of blockchain super weapon.
There's just a number of vulnerabilities that are in the smart contracts.
Math. It's probably secure.
They all secretly mine cryptocurrency.
What coin can I trust? Which one is cryptographically secure?
Don't roll your own crypto.
CoinSec podcast.
The CoinSec podcast is a podcast about cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies with a focus on securing them. Don't let the hum of our dual-purpose crypto miner / password crackers in the background disrupt your listening pleasure. Today, I am your host, Bo Bullock, and I've got with me Mike Felch. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, what's going on?
Howdy.
All is well.
We missed you.
All is well here.
We missed you. We built a pretty epic mining rig with Ralph, and Steve showed up shortly after we started. But yeah, we missed you, man.
Yeah, no, I needed that one too because I'm going to be building one here in about a month.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so, I mean, you can't always listen to our own show. It's not like weird to listen to I don't think, anyway.
Actually, I'm not building a rig. I'm building a password cracker.
Right.
That's what I'm building.
Yeah,
Right.
that's officially
Right.
what you're building,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Same hardware, same build, so, yeah.
For tax purposes, it's a password cracker.
And for wife purposes.
Yeah, that's primarily the purpose you're looking to mask. But anyways.
No, for wife purposes, it's more of like a multimedia like movie of some sort.
This is my new beefy Plex server.
Yeah.
Powers our internet.
Yeah. Without this box, we would not be able to get internet. Do you want to turn off the internet? I didn't think so.
No joke. Like, so you joke about that, but so my kids like totally think that my mining rig like powers the house because like I've told them like don't touch it or the house will burn off.
Yeah.
Well, it probably consumes the most electricity. So
That's a good point. Yeah. All right, so that's Mike Felch is with us, and we also have Steve Borush. What's going on, Steve?
Hey, back and doing well. So I'll be on for a full episode this time.
what?
That's awesome. Ralph May is also with us. What's up, Ralph?
I am. I'm super excited to be here. Super excited for this episode. We're gonna do it.
We're going to talk about that mining rig you built already, right?
Actually, no. I will. Full disclosure. Spoiler alert. It's still in boxes right now.
Well,
I know.
Think of every wasted second is a wasted coin.
Yeah. No, you're right. Absolutely. I
think
should
of all
just.
those lonely blocks that aren't getting solved right now because of you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ruining the world.
Like you gotta put down everything else in life and just go build that miner.
Yeah.
You have all the
I know.
pieces. They're waiting on it.
Jeez. That's true. I mean, maybe I'll put it together tonight.
Don't quit the podcast right this moment. Finish the show and then go do it.
Click.
Alrighty. Well, yeah. So I guess we can talk about the state of the market for this week. Today's date is actually May 18th of 2018. And we are currently sitting at an overall market cap of $368 billion, which actually isn't a terrible loss from last week. I mean, last week was already bad anyway, but we're down 20 billion-ish from last week. Not terrible, but, it's still downward, which is actually kind of odd. We'll talk about an event that happened this week that I thought would actually increase the price a little bit, but it didn't. But yeah, so Bitcoin's down about $300 to 81.17. Ethereum's down about, actually, like it hasn't really changed at all. It's only down $6 to 6.78, and Ripple's only down 3 cents because it's at 66 cents. Yeah, so not a huge loss there. So there has been a really big increase for one coin in particular, and I actually am super stoked about it because I mean we've definitely been talking about Zcash for a while on the show. I've been mining Zcash. I like Zcash as a privacy coin, and it got added to one of the major exchanges. So Zcash has been added to Gemini.
Woohoo! That was unexpected and very welcome, in my opinion. You know what I was really impressed with was that there was no pre-hype. There was no like leaking of information from Gemini or anybody or the Zcash team. You know, it was just all of a sudden, hey, it's listed, and then that price just spiked right away. So I think it was good on them, showing them their discipline in, you know, not leaking information out to the public, and, you know, through the whole chain, from whether it be from the Zcash team to the Gemini team. I think it just shows to the standards that they're working with, and because there was no like pump, you know what I mean, before that, like, oh hey, it's going to be listed. It was just all of a sudden kind of happened. So I credit them a lot for their discipline. Yeah,
I even saw some tweets from like some of the Zcash people talking about that exact thing. Like they're basically like, yeah, you can see like that there was literally zero price increase until after that announcement. So like there was no like insider stuff happening, which we've seen that happen with other currencies before, like prior to them getting listed, you know, like you'll see like people who are on the know go and buy up a bunch of it before it's you know, increased in price.
Yeah, there was no bump in trading volume. I saw a nice graph somewhere, and you could see like the trading volume, and it didn't spike at all until the release of the information. So pretty cool.
Yeah, and so from the price perspective, it's up $100 since last week, and so it's increased from about $248 to $348 since being added. And there's actually some more Zcash news in addition to this. Is so Bitmain. You know, we've talked about like Monero's battle with having ASIC processors, you know, hit their coin. Well, now Zcash has the same problem because Bitmain has released, or they're you know, going to make a Equihash ASIC.
Yeah, I think that's already been released.
Is it out? Like you can buy it now?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, we've talked about it before. You know, like the whole, do you fork to try to get away from this? Yeah, like
So yeah, when you talk about that, if you look at, and I think we can just cover it now. There's not much structure to this episode, I don't think, but we've got a news article on XMR being easy to mine again. The guy we had on before, Bad Packets, posted a Monero difficulty historical chart, and you can see the difficulty dropped like by 2/3 in early April, when the switchover happened on the fork. So the fork was successful in pushing off the ASIC mining, but it had to go somewhere else because people aren't just going to have these kryptonite ASICs. And I think I run an ETN, Electronium pool, and the difficulty has almost doubled on Electronium since that. So I think a lot of the miners who were doing kryptonite for XMR pushed their stuff over to Electronium. And we have seen a lot of cryptojacking campaigns using Electronium in the past. But I think we'll see those cryptojacking campaigns go back to XMR now that it's easier. I mean, the hash has just changed a bit, or the algorithm has just changed a bit in the fork. And it's what, Kryptonite 7, I think they call it, version 7, something like that. So yeah, I think the forks are successful, and even Electronium. I've already upgraded our pool, but there's a new fork out that's ASIC resistant. So I think it helps, and I think if you're in the market of purchasing ASICs for one coin these days, you're probably going to lose out eventually because people are just going to fork on you, and then what are you going to do with it?
Yeah. Hey, Steve, do you know on what to mine, right? On whattomine.com, do you know if so like if you were to look at Equihash, right, the hash rate, do you know if that H per second is the same as like the Sol per second that you normally see in.
Yeah. For them, it is.
It is. So it's H/s is the same as sols.
It's the same as sols per. Yeah.
So I was just kind of doing a quick comparison. So the ASIC miner that Bitmain released is going for $2,000, and that will get you 10,000 sols per second. So 10,000 hashes per second. To compare that to one 1070, or actually, so what, Ralph? What was the price that we bought yours at? Was it like 460 or?
Yeah, it was about 450, I think.
So let's say we bought like 4 of those to get around 2,000, right?
Sure.
So that's 1,700 hashes per second. So roughly, like if you were to buy 4 GPUs, around the same price as the ASIC miner, you're going to have about 8,000 less hashes per second. So there's definitely, advantage price wise there for the Bitmain. It's totally sold out right now, but yeah, interesting.
Already?
Of course it is.
Yeah. So it looks like that estimated profit is like $41 a day or something like that for Zcash with one of those ASICs.
Yeah, it's not going to last for a little while, though. I mean, difficulty is going to fly out the roof, and
for sure,
and just readjust.
Right.
That's the process. But for how long can you swoop up? And that's always like that early adopter thing, right? The first one to get the ASIC is the winner, really.
Yeah. So
sure.
That's been the argument, surrounding like security in particular with any coin, is that like the company who develops the ASIC is totally capable of doing a lot of damage to the coin ahead of them actually hitting the market.
Sure, everybody talks about the 51% attack. You get enough of the network, you can take over it basically. And sure, if you're making those, I don't think Bitmain, I can't speak for them, but who knows? You'd pretty much be losing your business if people found out you were doing that to the market.
Or just inciting people to fork more often.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a...
people do need to just fork more often, man.
Yeah. Just fork it.
Just forking all the time.
Our new t-shirt, just fork it.
Just fork it.
They'll be happy.
Or let's fork.
I don't know. I think there might be some confusion in that statement.
Just want to fork.
Sorry.
Yeah, getting off track here. All right. So yeah, I guess we've kind of jumped into the news already for this week. So there's another interesting story about a new coin mining malware that apparently crashes your system if it gets caught.
Yeah, that's so. That's I think about it from an offensive perspective. Most of we're all pen testers on the show, and if you put your rat on a system, instead of just gracefully exiting, you just crash the system. You kind of bring awareness to yourself that you were there. So while I think the technique that this miner brought was kind of cool because it uses 2 processes. I think what it injects into 2 SVC host processes, and one monitors the system while the other is doing the mining. So like if it knows that a specific antivirus is installed or launched or something like that, it not just kills the miner, but it kills the system.
So what would be the point in doing that though? Like I just think that's a general oversight in this person's. I think it's a mistake. I don't think you would intend to do that. Offensively, I wouldn't do that on an engagement. I would I would try to gracefully exit or hide myself somehow, or kill the antivirus instead.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you crash the system?
And for any malware research out there, the name of this one is the WinStar NSSM miner.
So
and
the interesting thing,
500,000 victims in 3 days.
Do we know how it's spreading?
Let's see.
Phishing. That's my guess. Go. It's an email.
I don't see it yet. Give me a second. Continue on, Mike. I know you had a question.
Okay. So I was going to say, well, I mean, to Steve's point, it might be that because it is in that critical process that when it tries to like exit out, it's just accidentally destroying SVC hosts or something along those lines, or corrupting some sort of memory, and it just flakes out. I mean, you're in a critical process of Windows. If it doesn't go right, there's a highly likely chance that it's going to end up crapping the whole operating system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Either the person didn't test it very well, or it was an oversight.
I see. Yeah, it's in Jenkins. Looks like it's.
Is that the new Jenkins exploit?
I don't know. It's saying that it's been used in the Jenkins miner.
So, I mean, I hate to like think on like the evil side of things here, but I was thinking like, all right, so if you didn't want to crash a computer, what's something else you could do? And I was thinking, why haven't we seen malware that does mining like as its primary purpose, right? And then if it gets caught, it's also ransomware.
Yeah, dual-headed.
Yeah, so like it would encrypt your stuff and you would have access to it, but like let's say like it had a monitor process too that tried to kill it. It could just like flip a switch to go into ransomware mode.
That would be the way to go.
If you won't let me mine, you're going to pay me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
now starting encryption process.
Yeah, so we should probably see that in about a week or two.
Yeah. What if instead too, instead of just
sorry to our law enforcement listeners that are out there.
Well, what if instead of just flipping a switch, what if it was like, well, if you let us continue to mine, we won't start encrypting your files, but if you don't let it mine, then we will just encrypt your files.
Got a better idea. How about ransomware everything, and then let the crypto miner run in the background, and it'll slowly decrypt file by file.
Oh yeah. So you get it unencrypted, but you have to mine for it.
Yes.
Yeah, and so like as a user, like they don't have to go through the process of actually like going and buying Bitcoin now.
No.
Like they'll eventually get their stuff back. It's just
okay. Do not do this. We're not recommending we do this. We are not participating in this. This is just like this is what we should be looking at for the attack landscape in the future.
Yes.
I'll try this out.
Thanks, Mike.
Disclaimer.
Plus, if you think about it, all right. So let's talk the flip side of this, okay? All the defenses in place, right? So this is already after you've been compromised. The malware is running on your system. This is already a lot of security controls have either been bypassed or they weren't there in the first place, right? So this isn't circumventing that. This is just what it's actually going to do, to compel people to leave their machine running to continue mining. I mean, it's an interesting model. But from a protection standpoint, I mean, you should have either one detected or two prevented this, and then three had a backup, right? I mean, I don't know how many times we can talk about ransomware and the need for a backup. So
yeah, hopefully they don't do this in .NET, because then we'd never be able to figure out what they're doing. So if they chose to use .NET to implement this, that's like a really bad idea for us. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of brings up a point. How do most organizations, like these are Jenkins servers that are just most likely in a DMZ somewhere, hopefully at least in a DMZ or on a VPS somewhere. How often, I wonder, do administrators go on there and check what processes are running and stuff like that? Because, they could go on there and be like, oh, there's a Jenkins upgrade. Go upgrade it, but not realize there's stuff going on in the background already because the box was already popped. So just something for administrators, any administrator with stuff out there on the internet, doing some kind of process monitoring these days is going to be pretty important to catch these miners. Because people don't know, if they're smart enough, they're going to recompile the miner so it doesn't get caught by AV. They're going to rename the miner or have it inject into something else. So, yeah, that layered defense is crucial, but it's also crucial to go and actually just look at your stuff. Well, it's out there. It's safe. It's in the DMZ. No big deal.
Actually, I'm on an engagement right now. I was just showing Bo yesterday, and I found a really interesting server-side request forgery in like this proprietary app, and I was able to leverage that to hit the internal Jenkins server externally, and that's all on the internal network, which was just really interesting. But so watch those installs.
That's right.
Was there, Steve, any more to your XMR is easy to mine again story?
No, not really. It's just I think the fact that it's easy to mine again is going to increase the amount of cryptojacking campaigns again. I think people were moving away from XMR and mining things like Sumo Coin, and we saw Electroneum started getting pretty big a few months ago. But now, as the ASICs moved off of XMR and are hitting those other coins, these cryptojacking campaigns have to move back. So they've got to go pop all these boxes or use their command and control servers to re-engage these things and retarget XMR as their coin.
Interesting
choice. So I think we'll see that.
Have we seen any cryptojacking malware that can pretty much switch on the fly or be re-instructed to move to a different coin? As it's a monetary mining piece. Has anyone seen that yet?
No, but I don't think it would be that. Let's say you compromised a whole bunch of servers. Let's put ourselves in the mind of a bad guy for a second. Let's say you compromised a whole bunch of servers. You probably have a record of which ones you've popped, right? I would on an offensive campaign know where all my stuff is at. So, and usually these are serialization bugs or public exploits, stuff like that. I think the Oracle WebLogic one was a serialization flaw. And all you got to do is just re-hit it again with a new command.
So I've seen some of the newer malware too that actually will hit something like the Java deserialization, right? Like in the WebLogic, they just came out with another one recently. This has been something that's plagued some of these web or Java web applications. But anyways, and what they'll do is they'll actually patch the bug or patch the vulnerability, excuse me. And then, inject themselves in, and establish their C2 channel. And then, so that way, nobody else can come behind them. They kind of taking ownership, right? This is mine. I got to it first.
Right. And what's key there then is that they have an established C2 channel or a way to tell the malware if it needs to switch mining. We've seen some mining campaigns where they change the hash. So they'll change which coin, so you can't track, or not change which coin, but change which address it's getting mined to. So you can't track the overall progress of the mining campaign. So in that case, you have to have some residual access. And yes, we've seen people in the past patch bugs behind them. Usually those, I don't know if I've seen that on a crypto mining campaign, but I've seen it on an actual breach where they'll patch behind them so nobody else can get in. But yeah, I mean, that'd be cool, I think, to see something where that scraped Twitter and it would just retarget whatever the Twitter bot told them to target, like you said. That way you wouldn't have to have a C2 channel. Your miner would just, be curling out or whatever and figure out what to do next.
Sure. I know that recently there's been talk too of some of the some more malware that's actually targeting IoT devices for all the different platforms, right? So ARM and everything like that. Just injecting right in there. Now for cryptojacking, it wouldn't be that useful considering how few amount of coins your small IoT or ARM-based device is going to be able to net. Right. But yeah, that's actually been ramping up as well. Just them going after those smaller devices. So.
Well, you got to think about it. If you've got an ODave or something like that, let's say a CCTV camera, and you're the only one with it, and there's 6 million of these CCTV cameras out there on the internet. It doesn't take much mining power to put them all together and to actually make it, work. Now, how long can that run before somebody notices it and,
Yeah.
releases a fix or whatever? That's an issue for miners, for cryptojackers. But
Yeah, but
by the way,
but
I was just going to say if you have any.
Go ahead, Ralph.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say if you have any IoT devices on your perimeter or the internet publicly facing you, you should probably fix that.
Yeah, just take them off and beat them with a baseball bat. You don't need them.
Yeah.
No, what I was going to say is that like the time it would take to for an attacker to develop an exploit for pretty much any IoT device probably isn't going to be that long anyway, right? Because most of them are really terribly coded anyway. Or just have really crappy passwords, really crappy web apps that have injection vulnerabilities. Like Mike and I found one, a couple weeks ago on an escalator.
Did you make it go backwards? That would have really messed with people's heads.
But I guess my point is the time it takes for somebody to find that vulnerability is probably totally worth it. To even if it only runs for a day or two, they're still probably making plenty of enough to cover however much time they spend on it. Because
you'd probably make more than you would on a bug bounty, and unless you,
we're having a terrible episode for the bad guys. you should definitely package ransomware with your coin miner. You should definitely actually look for exploits on IoT devices and don't actually disclose them for bug bounties. Actually, just go exploit them because you'll make a lot more money.
Yeah, you'll make a lot more money, but what are you going to do with that money while you're in prison?
Yeah, exactly.
Sweetie golds.
This is our, we're getting into more of our pen tester realm, I think, in this episode, which is nice.
Speaking of IoT, though, you say if you have IoT externally facing, what I've realized and what I've been learning as I've been playing around with a lot of IoT devices lately, or not lately, but last year, was even if they're on your internal network and you could trick a victim to a page that you can control, you could use JavaScript just to send payloads to internal IP addresses and hit the slash, the whole network, and still send payloads even externally. So that's really an interesting. It kind of comes back to the insecure RPC servers concept, but that'd be.
No, absolutely. I mean, you could totally run a JavaScript payload that will, scan that internal network, look for those particular targets, and then go ahead and exploit them. And then, assuming that these IoT devices are allowed to, communicate outbound, 90% of the time, that's true, right? Then now you've got, your port gets open and you get a connection and you're good to go, right?
I just had an interesting thought. Okay. So, we're still in very much the early stages of cryptocurrency in general, but I would imagine more and more companies are starting to, I don't know, have wallets and stuff. So how long do you think it'll be before we're on pen tests where we're looking for Bitcoin Core on the network somewhere?
That's a good point.
I've been on tests where I have found Bitcoin wallets on workstations and other stuff like that, cryptocurrency wallets, what they were using for, maybe personal or not, it's there. And I wasn't even necessarily, running a script that just looked for, a .dat file or something.
I can't wait till the day where I write up a report where I have a critical finding for, a wallet.dat file with crappy password,
Yeah, $1 million in it too.
Especially more and more that we're testing these cryptocurrency companies.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was teaching a class at a very large national and international company. And I was talking to their one of their SOC people, and they were telling us that the biggest problem they're having is not by people cryptojacking, but by internal employees installing miners on their work systems. Because they're getting free power and they just let it run 24/7, and they don't care about the resources and all that stuff that it's using. And that almost 2 or 3 times a week they have to go around and clean off crypto miners from people's PCs. I just bring, why aren't you firing these people? Because that's got to be in your policy somewhere, not to install, other software, especially.
Here, more importantly,
crypto miners.
Why are your users allowed to install anything at all?
Yeah,
exactly.
second
You
question.
got a bigger problem than cryptocurrency miners if they're allowed to install anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, if the user's installing just the basic package and you're like, oh, I caught him. Like, imagine the more skilled attacker and their malware. You're probably not going to catch them unless you're like monitoring just this, the CPU or usage, right? I mean, they're not going to be or give off the signature that you may be looking at, even though your users probably shouldn't be able to install anything. So,
right. That's interesting because now it makes you wonder. The companies that require GPUs for their line of business may become more targets from the attacker perspective because now they're more attractive.
Or just
that's a good point. Like
Lizard and
gaming companies,
CAD software companies and stuff like that for sure. Yeah,
Multimedia companies,
or Twitch streamers.
Keep going. I'm making my target list.
AWS API keys, though, right? Let's say you find some of those on a corporate infrastructure, utilize those and spin up some GPU rigs or GPU based what do you call it? Instances. Yeah, but even more than that, though, like these guys don't have small cloud bills. Okay, when I get like $100 cloud bill, I'm like, oh man, like I need to cut back, but these guys have like $200,000 a month they're paying in cloud infrastructure. You throw in a couple more GPUs, they probably won't even know. They'll be like, oh, it went up a little this month. Maybe more people spent up VDIs or something. I mean, their bills are huge. So I could see that as well. I'm surprised more company employees haven't probably tried gone that direction. But.
I am so going to title this episode the episode of bad ideas. Like episode 18, the episode of bad ideas.
Yeah, I mean, more corporate infrastructure is moving to mixed environments, on-prem, off-prem, where they're going to have, multi-cloud and on-prem assets. And, their bills are getting huge. So adding a little bit more to that isn't going to raise the flags that maybe it should. So just something to take a look when you're building your IAM policies and stuff like that for your AWS keys.
You're supposed to build those policies? I thought you just copy and paste them from GitHubs.
Yeah, well, I thought you were just supposed to use the root key, but I guess that was wrong. So
there you go. So we were talking about having Bitcoin Core or some sort of wallet software on the network. Well, how about this Claymore miner RCE that came out? So
that was only a matter of time. But what's really funny is that they gave it a CVE for mining software.
Dude, that's sweet.
Well, I mean, I guess technically it's still vulnerability, right?
Right.
I mean,
so I've already searched Shodan.
Of course.
So the default, the default port is 3333. But I mean, how many people are going to put Claymore Miner on something publicly facing, right? You can change that.
10,000, right?
Nah, there's only a few hundred instances of that port that it finds, but I haven't gotten a chance to, but I wanted to dig into it a little bit and fingerprint that port and kind of see what the response looks like.
And then do a search.
and then do a search and kind of see. So maybe a little more results of the research coming next week, and definitely none of that will be going to my wallet.
Okay, so let's add that to the list of bad ideas. For publicly facing miners that are now exploitable.
Yep.
So a caveat to all of these bad ideas, right? We think like this so that we can better secure the corporate infrastructures that we are attacking, right? So we can relay that information and talk about these different ideas that real attackers or threat actors are going to utilize, right?
Exactly.
I mean, if you're not one-upping your skill inside of your organization to try to catch up to the attacker, then you're just going to fall behind at an exponential rate.
Yeah, like if you aren't exploiting your employee's Claymore miner now that there's an exploit available for it, man, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, how many SOC people are now searching for that port in their network and just popping those people's boxes and turning them off?
Yeah, I mean, this is all real stuff, though. I mean, you should be worried about this, right? These are all attacks, and all different variants.
I shared an attack with Bill yesterday that I'm not going to share now because I think it's a really, really bad idea to share. But like easily hundreds of millions of devices in hours. Like if you start really putting your mind behind what these attackers are doing and where they're going and where they could go and where they haven't gone yet, it gets really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst part is that sometimes we see some news article about some major attack and, it's novel or it's not novel. I mean, these are simple attacks, right? We're not even talking about the much more complex stuff that probably is not even making the news because it didn't get detected, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that's another thing to consider when you see like, oh, this particular security incident happened and it was huge. Sometimes that attack really wasn't that sophisticated. So also something to take into consideration. Sometimes it is, but.
All right.
So what other bad ideas can we come up with?
Oh man, I've got a laundry list. I just don't know if I should share. Oh.
So Snoop Dogg rapped at the Consensus Conference this week. That's interesting.
Yeah, I had a friend there said it smelled. The conference was the air was pretty wafty. There in New York City.
I mean, this is no surprise. It's Snoop Dogg. And second, did he get paid in Ripple, or what did he get paid in? That's my question. I mean,
wasn't there an entertainer that was backing a coin? Oh, Floyd Mayweather, and that coin or ICO just got popped by the SEC, I think.
Oh, wah, wah.
What about Floyd?
That brought me to wondering. They were indicted for fraud. Does Snoop back any specific coin or token? I mean, or why was he there? Was he just there as entertainment?
Yeah, so I wasn't clear on that. I don't know if he's like an XRP guy, but he was definitely at the Ripple event rapping. So, who knows? Did XRP's price move at all? No. It's actually down 3 cents. So.
Well, yeah, and that's interesting. So I'm reading a Fortune article right now that says cryptocurrency wealth dropped 52 billion during blockchain week.
Yeah, so that's really surprising, right?
Yeah, you would think with all the sales pitches and the pumps and all the parties and all that stuff, people would be throwing money everywhere, and it would be going up, but it's not. They're going down.
That, and it was like Goldman Sachs said that they were coming out with something like Circle, I guess. They announced that they were going to be putting together some sort of
That's right,
payment
Jack.
starter.
Yeah, no, Jack, that's the CEO of Twitter and Circle, had some sort of announcement. He was there.
Yeah, so Goldman Sachs launched their cryptocurrency, and it's supposedly with Circle, I guess, and then with that, Circle and Bitmain partnered. So like there's so many different news articles this week kind of just around the coin. It's just kind of interesting that it's not getting as much. So I don't know. There was other stuff too. I think there was like a couple other big names talking about getting involved, like Stock Exchange, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, all this news, yet
I saw a billboard in today, actually. It was in Warren Buffett's hometown, or where he lives, and they put up a big billboard that says, you admitted that you were wrong about Amazon and some other company. Why won't you admit that you're wrong about Bitcoin? and somebody literally paid the money to have that put next to a highway.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw the interview and he said that if I talked bad about your wife, you wouldn't care as much as I talked bad about Bitcoin. And I was like, I don't know, I think I would care. And then he was like, oh, maybe a bad example, but I don't know. His point is that whenever he talks bad about it, everyone just goes up in arms, and says that you don't know, you don't understand, blah blah blah. And that may be true or not, but. It's just one of those things. I think that at the end of the day, he is a conventional investor, and this is a definitely unconventional means of either investing or trading commodities or currencies, something that he has no expertise in, and that's fine. And but one point he did bring up was just about the overall the value of it being not there's no product, right? Yeah. Well, there's no real product that they're producing, right? And this is all coming from his conventional investing, right? I mean,
That he's probably scared to death. He can't control it like he controls all the other markets.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, he could be right, but the truth is that you can't always be right. Okay, no matter how much money you have, you're not always going to be able to predict the future. So I mean, just take that, for thought.
Yeah, I would say also. I mean, it's like I go to my chiropractor, but just because they're a doctor doesn't mean that I would go to get dental work done.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, they are a doctor, but they're, probably not too experienced with your teeth work. Yeah. I mean, I get it. So,
maybe we should make a run to Consensus next year. A little, hey, how about this? I'll put us in for a talk at Consensus, and then I won't show up.
Thanks for that, Steve.
That would be
for the listeners. That's just a little rip on myself because I'm not going to hack Miami this weekend as I thought I was going to. But you guys will tear it up anyways. It's a fun conference. You'll like it. But next year I'll buy myself a Lambo with some Bitcoin and head up to Consensus so I can fit in.
I get to see you driving all the way there in a Lamborghini. Probably the most uncomfortable ride ever.
And the loudest, uncomfortable and loud.
Yeah, uncomfortable, loud. It will probably break twice on the way there, but it's all about the the facade.
I can't imagine those things have a very big fuel tank and get very good fuel mileage. I probably have to stop to refill every 15 miles. But is Consensus, I mean, obviously I don't think you guys have been there either, but is it more of like the RSA of the industry? Is it more of like the black hat DEF CON of the security industry? It's more for show and business, right?
Yeah, that's my understanding. I think that us as a group should probably look at more non-security conferences to start talking at, and like they could be any of the other like blockchain type conferences. But I think that I don't know, we've done a pretty decent job, I think, of pulling in a lot of the InfoSec people we already thought might have been interested in talking about cryptocurrency and whatnot. But I think that there's probably a bigger audience that would be interested in the security side of things if we go to one of those.
Yeah, I do too. So if you're out there listening and you want a bunch of hacks to come in and talk about cryptocurrency and security,
if you want a group of guys to come in and talk about how to hack everything around your stuff, how to steal all your coins, that's us.
We will be there in 2 Lamborghinis because only 2 people can fit in one. So that's how we'll be traveling.
And Ralph's buying.
Yeah, no, I'm buying. Yeah, and I'll pay for the fuel as well because I'm sure that'll be an exorbitant amount of money.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to hit Bitcoin gas stations on the way there.
Yeah, we will only pay in Bitcoin.
There's going to be a trip that's only paid in cryptocurrency.
You'll drive around the country.
There's got to be like a petrol coin or something by now.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm broke because I sunk it all into cryptocurrency.
I've spent all my money in crypto. Why is this not working?
And
I think that's feasible though to do this as a full-time job if you were to trade or whatever fully. I saw on Twitter today somebody apparently put in their 2-week notice to go full-time crypto. That to me sounds a little dangerous, but it sounds doable, I guess.
So is it a crypto investor? Was that it, or like working?
I think so. I think investor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, what we should do? We should like. Have you ever seen those shows? That's like Trick My Ride Out or whatever, or
Pet My Ride.
Yeah, Pet My Ride. Yeah. Like we should do something like that with like an Escalade or something, but throw like a 12 GPU mining rig in the back, and have it like totally powered by the car, and then take a long ass road trip and mine the entire way there.
Yep, and totally not have it, have the ability to plug into one of those Tesla chargers.
I can just see it now. It's on this ride about like 1 hour in, the AC in the car will break. Just smoke and all this.
Yeah. So how do
good idea.
How do the Tesla chargers work? Do you have to pay for like a charge?
No.
Like gas?
Well, so it's interesting. So I just saw a Tesla that had a mining rig in the back on the internet somewhere. But so some people get free supercharge from Tesla. So I don't know, like they're supposedly going to be getting rid of that plan, or they might have just got rid of that plan. But if you bought your Tesla within a certain time frame, then you could get free supercharge for life. And so,
is there any like security mechanism on that charger? I mean, could we just go up there and make a little adapter and then?
So I
a bad idea.
So I've looked into it a little bit. It's kind of interesting. Whenever you back the Tesla into the charging station, it actually pops open a little charging door for you and everything. It's all super convenient. But I was wondering, if we were able to intercept, I don't know, the Bluetooth traffic. I did look at it, but it seemed like their implementation was pretty good. But if you could basically, I don't know, spoof the Bluetooth MAC address and trigger the pump to turn on, then maybe you could have something here. Like because the adapter, I'm sure you could just get the adapter because you can get wall chargers for your house. You have to if you're going to charge on your house.
Sure.
And then basically, I'm thinking that if you could pick up the traffic between that, then I think it'd be a totally easy win. Then you don't even have to have an electric car. You just put a miner in the back, hook it to a 220 or whatever that connector is, and then just go up to just sit there at Starbucks all day and. Because they have and Brandon,
see, Mike,
Florida,
you're doing it all wrong, man. Like the whole trying to sell Bitcoin miner to your wife by saying it's a password cracker. No. No, you need to get a Tesla because it will have ROI in a couple months because you're getting free electricity to mine while you have it.
We actually just bought a Tesla.
Oh. Well, so when's the rig getting put in?
Say what?
When's the rig getting put in it? The mining rig.
Yeah.
Well, we take delivery in like 3 weeks because they have to make them.
Which model did you get?
The Model X.
Oh, with the Gulf Wing doors?
Yes.
Ooh, man, I'm jelly. Real
Did
jelly.
you pay in Bitcoin?
You paid in Bitcoin, didn't you?
Ether, no. So the thing is, once you really look at how much they cost, and I'm not advocating to go buy a Tesla, but I think it's fairly easy to start looking at how much money you're spending on your vehicle and how much your car payments for and how much gas and how much oil and how much maintenance and all of those things and those components. You start boiling it down, it's actually not as expensive as you would think. Plus, remote code execution vulnerabilities can pay out 10 grand or something. So you really only need a couple of those to kind of offset the cost.
So you're saying this is your test bed?
So this has been the discussion. Originally, before I purchased it, I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. It's such a great idea." And then I started once you put your money where your mouth is. Now you're like, "I don't know if I want to avoid my warranty."
Yeah, I might need to drive somewhere tomorrow.
Yes,
my car doesn't start. I don't know why.
Yep, but you got a front. There is no motor in the front, right? So you have all of that space. You could easily put a rig there, and you got the trunk. You could easily put another rig there.
Oh my god!
You could have a 24 GPU rig. So that'd be pretty legit.
When you're driving around, you're making money. That's crazy. Just driving, making money. I mean, your range would be destroyed, but
yeah, you could buy the bigger battery.
Yeah. Oh gosh!
All
right.
So back to
I would literally get a license plate that said "the rig" and driving around the rig.
Nice. All right, so back to Hack Miami this weekend. So we're talking about how there hasn't been a whole lot of cryptocurrency, blockchain related stuff in the security spectrum, but the whole theme of Hack Miami this weekend is blockchain and chill. And there's a number of
I'm bringing my wife.
Nice.
Just kidding.
Yeah, and that's how ICOs are born. So yeah, no, there's a number of talks that have interesting stuff. Like Brandon Arvanagi's doing a pen testing Ethereum dApps talk. Super excited to see that.
Isn't that like right before us too?
Yeah, right before. Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah. There's a hacking Bitcoin mining for fun and profit.
There's actually a class I think they're giving on building a miner.
Yeah, build an Ethereum miner.
Yeah, take your parts down there, man, and build it. Build it there.
I don't know how to build it. Can you guys show me?
Yeah, so that's interesting. I wonder how a workshop works like that. Like do you do what we basically did on the episode the other night and just talk about the different parts, and then, or do you actually like provide pieces?
I think they have all the pieces. They're just going to build one, but they're going to walk through like the whole process, and then you'll be able to connect to it. And I think so. I mean, the idea is, if somebody were to show you how to build it, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, I just plug this in here, and I just need this, and so on and so forth. So, as opposed to bringing, having your own stuff there and being like, oh, I brought my, box of crap. I don't even know what I ordered. So, they will be talking about overclocking steps and everything, and mining live right there on the table.
Oh, if they're using Claymore, make sure you get on the same network as them.
Oh my God.
The episode
We're just practicing.
It's in a controlled environment. It's okay.
Nice.
Well, you guys have fun. I'll sorely miss that I should be there, but I'm still putting the house together.
Oh, don't worry about it, man. We'll making fun of you for like the next 3 months.
Oh, I'm sure. Did you guys make T-shirts with your faces and not mine?
No, I don't think we're gonna have T-shirts.
You did get stickers though, right? To hand
I
out?
got the stickers. I got plenty of stickers to hand out. I get the bigger ones too. So just for you guys.
Bigger's better.
Bigger is better. Yeah, they're full size. You can put them on your car. Cover the whole door. So you don't want to know what I spent on those, but it's fine. It's for you guys. It's for the fans, and a little advertising.
Awesome. So guys,
hey, did you guys see that? Real quick. I want to bring this up. That dude Jackson Palmer on Twitter, he's at Jackson. He, I guess he came out with a script. You know how we have all of those scammers that will retweet like an Elon Musk or
yeah.
So, send me these coins and I'll send you back so many, and it's all going to work out good. Watch.
So has anybody seen the script that this guy put out, I guess, that basically kills those impersonating accounts?
No, I saw his tweet. I didn't look at the script.
I can't find it. I don't think he released it, but I was wondering if we could probably check it out. That'd be interesting.
So how would that work though, to kill like the tweets? Like, does it is that something like you would run?
It would probably block them on your side. Block them from view.
So if I block somebody, they can't or like, does their tweet automatically get deleted from like the replies, I guess? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
This is like a blacklist for the scammers then.
Yep.
So I don't know what it's doing. That's what I was kind of interested in, to finding out whether it's blocking just on your own account or whether it's like notifying Twitter of scamming or what.
Yeah, so my bigger question about that is, why doesn't Twitter have some other kind of way to mechanism to go ahead and go after these people too?
Hey, maybe they're doing legit offers for some of these accounts. Maybe they're really offering Ethereum, You never know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess we kind of get into it a little.
5 and I'll send you 2.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good deal.
It's a great deal,
Yeah. Now I need a blocker for scammers in Twitter. It's like a pop-up blocker, but just for in Twitter, an in Twitter blocker. And then they're going to come out with a blocker unblocker. And then
that's actually a good idea for like a Chrome extension.
Yeah, there you go. Like a Twitter security Chrome extension.
Yes. Social network, Twitter, Facebook, conglomerate.
Yeah.
So I'm before we go, I'm reading a tweet from Bad Packets. Always tweeting out good stuff, but he mentions a Malware Bytes report We talked before about the new Drupal exploits and how I said that I predicted that it was going to be mainly used for crypto mining. Apparently, 81% of the payloads found were cryptojacking related. 81%. So yeah,
Wow.
it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I feel like we talk about it every week now.
Well, until somebody listens.
Hey, we've got like a good 10 listeners, I think, somewhere there. I guess none of them are able to stop cryptojacking.
Admins.
Yeah, they're going to their CISO every day. We need to stop this. We can stop this.
Cool.
Well, I don't really have anything else. You guys have anything?
No.
No?
No, I think we did a pretty good round of telling everybody what not to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
What not to do episode.
The episode of bad ideas.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they're good, just not good for good people, but only for bad people.
I don't know. I think the coin miner and the Tesla is kind of a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just disclaimer: I am not using Tesla charging stations to do not avoid my supercharge for life.
Wink, wink.
So
Yeah.
So what I hear is we're going to build some kind of adapter,
Yes.
so that you don't need the car. You just walk up to the Tesla power portal and just plug your miner right into it.
That's
sit
a
there
wonderful
for a
idea.
Yeah, better. No. Here. Here's the even better idea. Make it so that it's like got like a almost like a Dropbox kind of look, so that it fits over it, like like your credit card readers,
Like a skimmer.
like a skimmer.
Skimmer for electricity.
Yeah. So like it still works for other cars, like that come up, like they can still plug into it, but you're actually like just like siphoning off power the whole time, like.
Oh my god! I can see the news article right now. Tesla multiple GPU mining rigs on free Tesla charging stations today at 9.
Yeah, Tesla recommends jiggling the charger to make sure that it doesn't come off.
Tesla noticed the suspicious activity after multiple cars were using gigawatts of electricity.
Oh man!
Oh, that's
Jeez.
awesome.
Oh, again, don't do this. Please don't do this.
On that note, I think we've had plenty of bad ideas this episode. This has been a fun one, I think. I mean, it's been short. I think we're still a good, like 10 minutes short, but yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, we should do this more often. I mean,
What do you mean, like not prepare and just show up and just talk about stuff?
no, I mean, like have bad ideas.
Well, I think we're going to kind of do that at Hack Miami. I mean, we kind of have slides together. Wink, wink, Ralph.
Ralph.
Oh no, I've got my slides, man.
you
They're
do?
rolling. Yeah, dude, you just haven't looked. Man. I just feel like you don't care sometimes.
I have all my slides that are just empty.
Yeah, title slide. That's nice.
Yeah. I got it all mapped out, man.
I like it. All right, guys. Well, I guess we can call it. So we are speaking at Hack Miami this weekend. I'm going to get this episode posted today. So, it's kind of late already on a Friday anyway. I mean, we'll get it out there. And if you happen to listen to this before Sunday at 4 p.m., that would be, what is that, May 20th, 2018 at 4 p.m. Make your way to Miami. Get on a plane, preferably bought with Bitcoin, which you can do through Expedia.
yeah.
Yeah, so go buy your plane ticket with Bitcoin, get on a plane, come down to Miami, come hang out with us at Hack Miami. We will have stickers. Hey, we could actually, I think we talked about like asking, like doing like some interviews type stuff too, with people. Like we had talked about.
Yeah, you guys can do a booth there if you want. Just ask Rod.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
it doesn't even necessarily need to be a booth, right? Like I'm thinking like We could just, like go pull people off in like a corner and like do some quick interview like questions.
Whoa. This sounds a little bit. Just saying.
Another bad idea.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just going to take you down by this beach bungalow, and we're going to talk about crypto jacking.
Don't forget your hardware wallet.
All right. What were you saying?
It's a good idea. Good idea, though. Seriously.
Yeah, no, like that. Maybe next week's episode we'll have a few clips from some people just about random thoughts about cryptocurrency and security from Hack Miami. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Don't hold us to it though, because you never know what happens at these things. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at CoinSec Podcast. Keep an eye on coinsecpodcast.com for links from the show. Which this one we only had a few links, so it'll be pretty bare. Subscribe to the podcast in your favorite podcast app, and if you like the show, leave us a review. I don't think we've got a single review yet, which makes me sad. Does that mean either people are happy or they just don't care?
We have to get listeners first.
Yeah, we're working on that. I'm going to leave a review for us in a pseudonym or some sort.
Like a fake name. Yeah, fake name.
Yeah. It'll be good.
That works.
Nobody does that.
Right. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me once again. And I will see two of you this weekend.
Awesome.
Cool. Have fun, guys. Take your sunscreen.
Oh, we will. We'll take lots of photos. We'll Photoshop you in.
Definitely. All right, everybody.
All right.
See you next week.
See ya.
Later.